Hey, what's up, YouTube? What's up? This is your host with the most, King Gio, in the house. How you guys doing? Forgive me for my tardiness. I'm usually not tardy, but today I was tardy, so I do for apologize. You guys that like this shirt. I'm starting to do merch. This is just one. This is just an example. But anyway, so that's it. So before I go on to my show, don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock. I'm going to what tomorrow is tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I want to talk tomorrow about the the incident, not the incident that happened. Hey, 3.5 G Mo, how you doing? The incident that happened on Philadelphia's train. All right. About how a woman got raped in Philadelphia and nobody, but I mean nobody, did anything about it. That's what I want to talk to you about tomorrow. So let's stay tuned. Today we're gonna talk about the last. We're gonna talk about is Brian Laundrie. That's the last thing I want to talk about is Brian Laundrie. So I want to see your input on it. I'm good, Jermaine. G-Mean 3.5. I'm good. How are you? Where you from? So I want to talk about Brian Laundrie because I just this is gonna be the last time I'm gonna talk about him unless something um big happens. But as you all know, um part of his body was found on the park. Um, you think his parents killed him? Hey, you know what? That is a possibility. You never know with with the Laundrie family because they hit him. They hit him. Just put it this way: if you come think about it, let's speak about conspiracy theories. Right? That's a good one, though. I like that. Think about it this way: all this time since he's been missing, they didn't think about going there, right? And then they've been around there with cadaver dogs, not cadaver dogs, with search dogs and stuff like that, and they never found him. And from what I read, from what I heard, from what I saw yesterday, the day before yesterday, that these cadaver dogs are trained to sniff out dead bodies, right? Or if there was some body parts there, and they're saying that even if it was covered with water, the cadaver dogs will be able to sniff it out. But that's only if it was there between 3 to 7 minutes after it had happened. So we don't know, but that's just an estimate. So we don't know how many days that body was there. But just think about it this way: the parents call the lawyer to tell the lawyer they're gonna go and find they're gonna go search for Brian the following day. The lawyer calls the police station. The police station says, okay, we'll meet them tomorrow. And it comes tomorrow, boom, exactly where he was found. They found his bag. They found his bag. What a coincidence. Then they said that his dental records verified who he was. And now G Main said, 3.5 G Main said that his parents killed him. That could be possible. I wouldn't pass anything on the Laundrie family. You couldn't put past anything on anybody because nowadays you see so many horrendous things happening that you stay at all. And I wouldn't be surprised. I saw someone yesterday said that they probably knocked one of his tooth out and just put it there and said that and said and not the FBI can say that was his. We don't particularly know because we didn't see the body. Right? We haven't seen the body. We don't know if there was a body or whatever. We know what was taken, whether it was the skull, which was the whole entire body, was it a torso? I mean, apparently we know there was some teeth because that's how they identify him was through his dental records, right? But just think about it. Think about it. All this time he was gone, and then all this time he was gone, and all of a sudden the parents make one phone call, and boom, the following day his body is discovered. Is discovered. What if? What if? Conspiracy theory wise, if that's not even his skull, just teeth. The teeth could be somebody else's. Skull could be somebody else's. You can go to a school. I mean, a school where it has where they have dead bodies, or you can go into a lot of places you can get a dead body and get one, and then boom, put some teeth in it, and there you go. You have a body because it wasn't by fingerprinting; it was by dental records. So that's a shocking in itself. Like I said, I don't put anything behind it. I still think the guy's still alive. Shit, if they can say, if they can say that Robert Kennedy Jr. is alive, and they seen Elvis Presley, right? And people have seen Elvis Presley, and the Loch Ness monster is out there, and Bigfoot, then I think that Laundrie is still alive. Yeah. The sad part about it is that a young girl lost her life, and that's the tragic thing about it. Through the course of this investigation, nine bodies has been found in different parts of the country. 9 bodies. What does that tell you? Do you know how many bodies there's out there? Do you know how many bodies there's out there? That's a lot of bodies. 9 bodies. So that just tells you that our justice system is not working. Our justice system is not working. And I wanted to reiterate on Monday, on my Monday's live, we're going to talk about exactly just that. Our justice system, how we as Americans tend to praise our justice system as to how great our justice system is, as to how great that we have this freedom of liberty, that we have our First Amendment rights, that we have our second, our third, our fifth, our sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, tenth. When in reality, none of that really matters. So on Monday on my life, I want to talk about our criminal justice system, our justice system. How has our justice system failed us? This justice system our justice system has failed us, or is failing us to this day miserably. And those on top, or every judge, every prosecutor, every senator that has not changed the law, and every prosecutor that bends the law, and every judge that enforces that unlawful law, they're all committing a crime. It's a shame that you see people in jail for 20 years, 25 years for a crime they did not commit. I saw a documentary today with Danny Trejo about Survivor's Guide to Prison, and you see how many people there were innocent, but they were found not, and then the conviction was overturned because of our justice system. But that's for Monday's talk. But now we'll talk about the mysterious finding of Brian Laundrie. Yes. It's a shame that the policemen in Utah didn't recognize the domestic violence. That just tells you that our police officers are not trained, in some state are not trained to know when a domestic violence has occurred. To me, I wouldn't have cared. He showed he showed that he had some scratches on himself, and to me, I wouldn't have cared if they had arrested Gabby. That I wouldn't care about, because even if they had arrested Gabby as the aggressor, she'd still be alive today. That would have de-escalated the whole entire situation. She would have gone to jail. She would have called her family, and the father or mother would say, we're going to come get you. Hey, what's up, Bruce? Airing out the dirty laundry. No pun intended, right? Yeah, bro. You got to. With a name like that, with a last name like that, Laundrie, they got some dirty laundry there. But like I said, it would not surprise me if this mofo is somewhere living good. Somewhere living good. And my phone, it's a shame. And I saw the statistic in Utah, and they're only doing domestic. Utah is one state. Utah is one state. Idaho is another state. There's not too much crimes out there. Not too much crime, from what I saw. But like I said, had these officers arrested this young man or had arrested Gabby, she still beat him alive. And that just tells you how undertrained or not trained these officers are. They're good. Officers are good for beating the shit out of you. They're good for that. But they're not good to train. They're not good enough to know, you know what? This is domestic violence, and I think you guys should, you going to jail or you going to jail. That's what other states do. This reminds me back from the 80s when a person used to beat the crap out of their wife, and they usually tell the husband, go home, sleep it out, but don't come back until tomorrow. If we see you back here, we're going to arrest you. That's what it reminds me of. And it's a shame. It really is a shame. You know, that's what we live in. That's the society that we live in today. Let's see what it says here. You got this news. What it says here, Austria considers lockdown that will only stop unjabbed from going out. People, you got to wear your mask, bro. When is one of the humans going to learn that the only way that we get out of this is if you wear a mask? If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's fine. Don't get vaccinated. That's on you. But at least have the decency to wear a mask. Because if you wear a mask, you see that toss that I just did? That toss right there takes out some aerosols, takes out some spit out in the air. And that, even though it's invisible to the human eye, but it spreads around. And if that spreads around, then it stays in the air. So if I have a mask, if the person has a mask on and I sneeze, that person won't get nothing. Or at least, and if that person does get something, it's very little. It's very little. So, if a virus doesn't have a host, then the virus dies. And that's all you want to do. You want to kill the virus in order for it not to have a host. So if you don't want to get vaccinated, that's cool. I respect that. But at least wear a mask. Because at least if you wear a mask, the virus has nowhere to go. And boom, and it dies. It dies. And then this country has to stop letting people come in from other countries. And then I'm not blaming. I'm not going to go and say. I'm not going to go and say the immigration, these immigrants are coming in, that the Biden is letting them in, that all this is happening and we getting a surge. No, because they have nothing to do with that. They have nothing to do with that. But anyway, so now we're thinking, Brian Laundrie's dead. Did he commit suicide? Like Maine said, the parents kill him. It's just, I find it odd, very odd, that the body was found on the same spot that the mother was the one that found it. That mother went and got it. Why did the parents go that day? Why was the body found that day, the exact day that they said they was going to go and search? Why did they go directly to that spot? It's not like they played it off and they spend half a day to 8-9 hours looking for it, and then boom. Play it off. You can do some shit like that. Play it off. Play the damn thing off. But no, they go in. I think it was half an hour or almost half a mile into the trail, and boom, he was found by his mother. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? So you tell me the conspiracy behind all this. I think he's still alive. Until they prove me otherwise, I think he is still alive. You can't prove me wrong. You can't. Until, like I said, until he is found, until you see a corpse, because what? Remains. Now think about it. Remains. I just tell you, remains were found of Laundrie. Remains. The word remains is just telling you bits and pieces were found. Not a body. It didn't say the body of Brian Laundrie. That's a key word. Not the body of Brian Laundrie found. Remains of a body was found. Remains. Think about that. Think of the wording. Not the body of Brian Laundrie was found. in this park. No, the remains of a body was found in this park. The remains. So that to me, that's telling me that's telling me that just pieces were found. Just pieces. Not the whole thing. Not the whole thing. So you guys tell me the remains of Brian Laundrie. The remains, not the body, the remains. The remains, guys. So so you have to take that word into consideration. The remains of Brian Laundrie or the remains of a body were found instead of the body of Brian Laundrie was found. So what? The water just happened to wash all that body away, and his arm went this way, his other arm went that way, his leg went this way, his leg went that way. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. So, like I was saying, it says the remains of Brian Laundrie were found, not the body, but the remains. So those parts are, those wordings are very, very important because if they would have found the body, but they didn't say the body of Brian Laundrie was found. And through death to records and through other stuff, we have identified his body, but the remains, and do because they had a tooth or whatever by dental records. It's just sketchy to me, guys. It's just sketchy to me. What do you guys think, man? It's just, I think they're full of shit. They're all full of shit. The whole Laundrie family is full of shit. And next week, guys, I'm trying to have a gentleman to come on my show to tell us about the statistic and other stuff about human trafficking and child kidnapping. There's too much. There's too many kids being exploited in the streets. There's too much kids being kidnapped in the streets, and we're not talking about that. We're talking about this dumbass right here, Brian. And I have sent requests to the FBI to speak to a director so they can tell me how they go about finding these these missing children, how they go about how they go about their role, and what we can do as parents to prevent from kids running away or for preventing from kids going to the streets. And I haven't gotten any response from any FBI or any Homeland Security, but I did get a response from a gentleman who does body recovery over in Europe. It's called Pegasus, and he is going to let me know this week on his schedule, how his schedule is, so he can come on my show and he can tell us about child trafficking, human trafficking, and all that kind of stuff, so we can have a better idea what's going on in our world with our children, not just here in the United States, but all over the world. And we can, and hopefully we can prevent from kids going to the streets, because these kids go into the streets because they feel something's not at home for whatever reason it may be, and then they go to the streets, they run away from home, and you got these predators out there who take advantage of them because they know they ran away from home, and they grab them and they say, we can give you this, we can give you that, we can give you whatever your parents didn't give you, whatever your home didn't give you, and they grab that young mind and poof, they get them And it's embarrassing how 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, how they caught 100 and some odd people here in the United States but for human trafficking. You got these kids doing it's just horrible. It's just horrible that that is done. So we're gonna have that talk hopefully next week or in the coming weeks. The gentleman from Pegasus. So stay tuned for that. And like I said, tomorrow we're gonna stay tuned for what happened in Philadelphia about that woman that got raped in the train and no one did anything. Ain't that something? Everybody's recording, but no one does shit. That is something. Can I curse on YouTube? I don't want to. I don't want to get a strike. I already got one strike because I talked about the pandemic, and they said I was giving out misinformation, which I was not giving misinformation, and I appealed that. Whatever I was talked about, there are other people. There were other YouTubers, there were other content creators who were talking about the same thing, and they didn't get strikes. But I guess it is what it is. So I stopped talking about that because I don't want to give up. I don't want them saying that I was giving out misinformation. So I don't want to get blamed for that. But anyway, that's what it is, guys. Oh, I gotta take this light. See, when you get something like that, you have to take light, and you have to. Oh, it all depends on the. You got to wear your clothing correctly, and all that kind of stuff. So, guys, tell me your opinion about Brian Laundrie. Do you think he's alive? Do you think he's dead? Do you think he's chilling and making somewhere in Austria? I don't think he's dead. I think he's alive. I think he's chilling somewhere. I think the parents planted something. I planted something there. They brought a cadaver and put his teeth there. Knock a tooth out. Say this tooth is mine now. They put it there because come on, guys. I mean, it's just ridiculous how they searched for him for weeks and they didn't find anything in weeks. And all of a sudden, the mother makes a plea and says that she's going to go look for that spot because this is the theory of the FBI that they said that the reason that they didn't find that body there before was because that was covered in water, right? Because that was covered in water. But yet you have other people who are experts in training these cadaver dogs saying that even if it was underwater, the body that the dogs would be able to sniff that out of the water, depending on how long it was there. That's number one. Number two, they got there, and then the following day, when the parents said that they're going to they want to go out there and check, right? Then when they go out there and check, boom, they find it right then and there. And then the key to this all is that they said the remains of a body, That doesn't say to me that the whole entire body was found. It's just the remains of a body, and it so happens that it was the mouth. And they said that they cannot give you, or they cannot give the family a definition of the death of Brian, because they still have to examine the skull. So where's the body? Where's the body? So you want us, intelligent people, to believe that you actually found Brian. That this skull, this tooth, this cavity is actually Brian. You want us to believe that. I don't think so. I do not think so. What do you guys think? I don't think it is true. That is kind of too much of coincidence. There's too many things. First, Brian comes to Florida September the 1st. They don't say nothing to September. They don't say anything until September 11th, right? Which is September 10th, because September 11th, that's when the Petito family reported her missing, right? And then they go ahead and they go into this, and then they go into this hotel. They go into a retreat for 2 days. 3 go in, 2 come out, right? And then they say that the Mustang was found he took it on a Tuesday. Wednesday they went and found it, and they turned back. They returned it back Wednesday, and on Friday they reported Brian missing. And then all these time lapse, because it was established that on his way from Utah to Florida, he did call his parents. What they talked about, we don't know. So I'm just gasped. I'm just perplexed as to how they're going to say they found him. After, why hasn't the FBI investigated these people? Why haven't the FBI investigated? Why did it take so long to tell the Petito family that Brian came alone? Right? Why did it take so long? I mean, I think that this whole entire thing in those 9 days, 10 days, that they didn't speak to the police, they were making this plan. I think the Laundrie family knew that Brian did this to Gabby, and they're just protecting him. Which I understand, protecting a person if your son stole something. If he stole a piece of gum or he stole something from a store, he stole someone's home, and you want to protect him from that, but you don't protect nobody from murder. You took a person's life. An innocent life. And that's the sad part. So you're gonna go around. I believe that they knew when they went on this retreat that Brian had did something. I think he confessed to them that he did something to Gabby. I believe that. And they were just trying to, on this little retreat that they went, they were trying to make a plan. Or they did a plan. Actually, they did a plan. And their plan was just that. To mastermind this bullshit of a story. But this is a bullshit story. Anyone who freaking believes this crap is an idiot. To be honest with you have to be stupid to believe that they just happen to find their body right there. Oh, this is what he frequently goes to. Shit, they were there before, and they found nothing. They say, "Oh, it was underwater." We don't know if it was underwater. Are we supposed to believe you because you say it was underwater, Mr. FBI? Like if the FBI never lies. I'll give you an example of how corrupt the FBI is. All right. In Puerto Rico a few years ago, I would say 7 or 8 years ago, there's a case in Puerto Rico. There's a case in Puerto Rico that hasn't even gotten solved yet. All right. About a kid named Lorenzo. All right. And then in this crime in Lorenzo, the mother, Maria Cacho, right? Ana Cacho. She was in her house with an FBI agent and 3 other people in her, that's 5, smoking crack, doing cocaine, right? And her son, Lorenzo, was killed in that house while they were there, right? The autopsy revealed that the mother said that the kid fell off the bed. You see me sitting down. They said the bed was 5 foot high, but the bed was 5 foot high. That this kid fell off that bed, but this kid had a broken nose. This kid had lacerations right here to his temple, had stab wounds to his neck, had stab wounds to his jaw, broken ribs. How do you have laceration to your temple when you just fell off? I can see broken ribs, but anyway, and they covered it up. They covered the blood. Anyway, so this lady was never charged with the murder of her son. This lady, everybody that was there was never charged. Even the FBI agent was never charged. This lady, the Department of Justice in Puerto Rico didn't even charge this lady with neglect. With neglect of a minor, abandoning a minor, putting the child's welfare, putting the life of a child in danger as they were doing this crack cocaine in the living room. The Department of Justice in Puerto Rico let the limitations run out on that just a few years ago. She could have been charged. Put it this way, in Puerto Rico, I saw how many women would let their kids alone just for a minute, and the police went after them and they got them for neglecting the life of a minor because they left the kid in a car alone. All right. You know how many women got arrested in Puerto Rico because of that? And this woman was doing drugs in her living room with her kids in her house. Her kids gets murdered. Her son gets murdered, and she doesn't even get charged. Nobody gets charged. And then a few years back, they try to charge the guy that was one of the guys that was with them, that they call el manco, which manco means that you're missing a body part, usually a limb. So he only had one arm, right? So they arrest this guy years after. This was like 3 years ago. They arrest this guy called el manco, and they try to put this man on trial. They're saying that this man killed this kid, and the cops were chasing him, and he ran away from the cops, and he jumped over a fence. He climbed over a fence, guys. This guy's only had one hand. How could he climb a fence? And the fence was big. It was so ridiculous that they actually dropped the charges. And they actually dropped the charges. And the lady was not, to this day, she lost custody of her two kids because they were the father. The daughters know what happened, but they don't want them to recount. But you can see this time and time again how here in the United States, mothers get charged for neglecting their children for whatever reason. They go to jail, and you say just for that. And here's a woman who's doing crack cocaine in her room, in her house, and her child was murdered. That reminded me of Anthony Casey. Casey Anthony, I'm telling you, you know. So just to tell you, so you want me to believe that the FBI said those remains are of Brian? The remains, well, where's the body? Where's the body? Because you could drown. You can drown. But where's the rest? People may say, oh, probably he got bitten by an alligator or some alligator bit his part. That can be feasible. But come on, people. We know better than that. At least I know I do. I know I do. But it's just sad, man. It really is sad. Your Hotmail settings. Okay, Hotmail. So, do you believe in magic? It's funny. It's funny how things happen. Guys, tell me. But yeah, so after this, I won't talk unless something incredible comes up. Or Brian, I'm not gonna give any more. I'm not gonna give any more talk to Brian. I'm gonna let this young lady rest in peace. Let pieces fall where they may. I just hope that the parents get charged for something because I know they aided and abetted this guy, and I know that this is not the end of Brian. I know that. I don't think he killed himself. He looks too much of a coward to even take his own life. And I doubt that he was just out there and he killed himself. I doubt that he was out there and the water took him away. I doubt that. So there's more to this story, guys. There is more. There's more. But don't let that discourage you. Just make sure, guys, that you don't. Oh, God. Just make sure that you don't. Jack Gax, thank you for joining in. You think he's alive, Jack? You think he's alive? I think he is. Like I said, if you believe that the remains of Brian, just look at the wording, my people. The remains, not the body. Then he said, the body of Brian was not found because it was eaten by alligators. We just found the head. Didn't he say that? They said the remains of Brian were found. It is obvious, but they don't want. It's weird. It's very weird. It's too weird. It just think about it. That's like, put it this way. Put it this way. I'm gonna give you a scenario. We all as parents have gone through this. All right. Those who are parents and those who were kids. We all were kids when we were younger, right? We have a missing item. We tell our kids, who took it? And here you are. You looked everywhere. You look where you had it. You look where you think you didn't have it. And there's nowhere to be found. But you swore up and down that you put it on your top drawer where you always had it, right? And here we go. So you ask your kids, who took it? Who took it? No one took it. Half an hour later, when your steam, when that pissed off mood goes away, you open the drawer, it's there. How miraculous is that? So when you were pissed off, no one said, everybody said, no, it's that. We don't know who it is. We don't know what happened to it. It wasn't me. That's the kid's famous word. It wasn't me. Right? It wasn't me. Then when you don't get pissed off, boom, it's found. Same thing here. People, the FBI, local police, people who volunteered to search for this fool, even Dog the Bounty Hunter, people with his messed up hair that he looked like he hasn't showered in days, went out there and looked at these spots. They went. You can even go with scuba gear and went to the spot where the parents said that he frequently goes to. This is let's say this is his Zen. This is where he meditates. This is where his Buddha spot is. Right? Not Buddha weed, bro, but Buddha spot. And he goes there to meditate, whatever the case may be. They went through there and they didn't find nothing. Now, all of a sudden, the mother wakes up and says, let me call my lawyer and tell my lawyer that tomorrow I'm going to go there. My husband and I, we're going to go there and we're going to look for Brian. And it so happened that the spot that she went to, his bag was found when there was no bag there before. All right? When they searched the whole area. And then they come with this bullshit story that the remains of a body was found. So what the freak happened to the body? What happened to the body? Just the remains. So what they do? So did they buy a cadaver somewhere in one of those colleges and put a body there? They knocked one of his tooth out before he left? Something happened. Oh, of course, it's all a joke. It's a joke. This is an insult to people's intelligence. If anyone in their right mind think that body or whatever they say they found is Brian, I don't think so. Jack said, check out Aaron Moore's channel also. When the parents went back to check, they loaded. No, they looked 8 miles in the direct line to the east, all parallel with the road to LOL. Is just this is all a joke. It is a joke because Think about it. In the beginning, the lawyer said that they asked the lawyer, did the Petito family, not the Petito, I'm sorry, did the Laundrie family tell the FBI about this spot? And the lawyer said yes. At the beginning, they told them about they told the FBI about this spot, but being able to underwater, come on, really, really, come on, people, let's not be fooled. This is not. If you believe this, then you believe that the tooth fairy also exists. When your mother father leaves you that dollar underneath your pillow and says the tooth fairy brought it to you, no, it was them. Your parents are the tooth fairy. But let me say it otherwise. But anyways, but it's shocking to believe that they will come up with a story like that. The same way when someone said that Mexico would pay for the wall. And millions of people believe that bullshit. Millions of people believe that an orange man said that Mexico will pay for a wall, which of course no country is going to pay for a wall that you built. It's kind of stupid. You have to be real stupid and gullible to believe that. Here you are, you're going to build the wall in my property and say, yo, King G, I'm going to build the wall on your property, you're going to pay for it? I don't think so. So millions of people believe that lie, the same way millions of people or thousands of people are believing that the remains of this body or a body were of Brian Laundrie. I don't think so. The parents should be held accountable. The parents should be held in contempt. Not in contempt, but the parents should be held aiding and abetting a fugitive. And like I said before, I understand if you're protecting your child from the law. I understand if your child stole something. I understand there's a certain thing, there's a level of protection as a parent that you do because you're a parent. You want to protect your kids. I understand that. But that level of protection breaks when it comes to murdering somebody. There's a difference that if my child kills someone on self-defense, I'm going to protect my child. But if my child goes out there and kills someone innocently, I'm not going to have my child. I'm not going to say to my child, I'm going to protect my child. Oh, he doesn't, you know what? His $1 million, he can go somewhere. No, I'm not going to do that because my child has to learn that for every action, there's a reaction. So you have that, you have to, you did something that's bad. You have to pay the consequences. I'll get you the best lawyers I can. All right. You get convicted, I put money in your commissary. But I'm not going to help you escape. I'm not going to help you with your story. I'm not going to help you at all unless it is that I have to get you a good lawyer. That's it. Because what you're doing as a parent is that you're protecting this child, and this child's never going to learn anything. So there's a certain responsibility as a parent that you have, but that responsibility goes out the door once the child tells you, your mom, dad, I killed this person. And this happened. And as a parent, your job is, their job was supposed to call Petito's family the first day that Brian got there. They should have said, where's Gabby? Oh, mom, Gabby's not with me. Blah, blah. But anyway, they knew that Gabby wasn't with them anyway because he had spoken to them before getting there. So their job was to, as a parent, one parent to another, listen, my son got here and your daughter's not with him. And take it and let the law do what the law does. Investigate. All right? Go to your room. Investigate. And that's it. But they didn't do that. They took it upon themselves to defend this kid. If you don't want to give a report if you don't want to go out there and give your accountability, to account for what your son did or tell the story, that's fine. You don't have to talk to the media. But as a parent, have the courtesy to talk to the other parent. I don't care what the lawyer says. Talk to the other parents and say, listen, you know what? My son got here, but your daughter was not here. Or listen, my daughter got here, but your son's not here. If it was reversed. Because you want to know. You want to know. You know what those parents went through, or they're going through, but at that time was going through, not knowing where their daughter was. Is she alive? Is she eating? Did she suffer? Think about that. So as a parent, you give that courtesy and say, you know what, Mr. Petito, this happened. I don't know what happened, but my son is here and your daughter's not. And you just leave it as you leave it there, and you let the law take care of the rest. But they didn't do that. They protected this schmuck. They protected him to the point that where we're at now, that we have the remains of Brian Laundrie. You're right. In my backyard, I had the remains of Elvis Presley. Just the remains, not the body, or of a Elvis Presley. Can't say for sure is the Elvis Presley, but I'm being facetious, guys. Don't mind me, but it's just far-fetched that you would believe this story. Don't be gullible. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And now, especially as I was doing the show, it came to my attention when it said the remains, and not the body, but just the remains. And that's just kind of hard for me. It's just kind of hard for me to believe. And I'm not going to believe that, guys. I refuse to believe that is Brian Laundrie. We don't know that. I mean, it's just too many holes. The story has too many holes for anyone to say it's conclusive. It's conclusive. How do these people live with themselves? How do they live with themselves? Knowing that they let a murder, I'm not gonna say even murder, that they let a murder get away. I believe this kid somewhere. Maybe not Mexico, but he's somewhere looking at us or looking at the FBI saying, look, you guys are a bunch of idiots. You guys are looking for me. Look where I'm at. I'm Maggie. And they come back like 60 years from now and say, I'm Brian. When the doctors tell them you only have like, what? They just say you have 5 months to live. You're going to die of this or whatever the case may be, right? This is just hypothetical. And he comes out and says, well, you know what? I only got 6 months to live, so I must say this is me. Hey, I'm Brian. Remember you looking for me 60 years ago? Yeah, I did this. I did that. You're going to charge me, but I only got 5 months to live. What you going to do? I don't care. I'm going to die anyway. Now that would be epic. But like I said, it is sad that we have a young lady lost her life, and we went through a drama of stupidity. People went out there out of the kindness of their own heart to help find Gabby. In the process, the only thing that I can say about the search is that they found 9 bodies. Bodies that people can put closure and say, I know where my loved one, I know where my friend is at. But it also tells you how bad our law enforcement is. They found 9 bodies through this search. 9 different bodies. That just tells you how law enforcement is in looking for people. Open up a can of worms and say, how do we, you're being paid to do a job and you're not doing it very well because shit, they freaking found 9 different bodies doing the search. Somebody or a group of people is not doing a good job. It's not doing a good job at all. And it's a shame. It really is. It really is a shame. So, guys, like I was saying, this is going to be my last talk about Gabby, about Brian Laundrie. I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to say anything, but only that is not Brian Laundrie. I don't think that's Brian Laundrie. I can bet this computer that it's not Brian Laundrie. All right. It's just not him. There's too many holes for it to be Brian Laundrie. All right. So if you want to believe that this is Brian, then I'm going to believe that Santa Claus is going to come down my chimney. It's going to bring me a gift this Christmas. Yes, I'm going to believe that. Well, anyways, for everyone who has tuned in, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you haven't done so, please do so. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I'm going to talk about what happened in Philadelphia, where a woman gets raped in front of everybody and nobody does jack shit. Isn't that something? Everybody's quick to draw a phone, but nobody does shit. So stick with me tomorrow. Thank you, Jacks, and also Gatairis, Tio Gio, and Bruce, and 3.5 G-Main. I'm going to say G-Man. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the King Geo Show. I appreciate it very much. And I just wish each and every one of you a good day, a good night, a good evening, whenever it is that you watch this show. All right. So thank you, everybody. Thanks, each and every one of you. And like I said, if you have not subscribed, please do so. Peace.